Welcome back into Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Reminding you, head over to youtube.com, find our page there in your search browser, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment. Of course, free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify and Odyssey. Download us and, of course, leave us a 5-star review. And follow me on my personal Twitter page. That would be at JMCH316. So let me see. John Collins ended up being in Atlanta last night. He didn't get traded, huh? Really? Let's go down the checklist here of the most recent stories of note in Atlanta, the surrounding area, that the blue checkmark media told us. Let's see. Deshaun Watson is signed, sealed, and delivered to the Atlanta Falcons. How'd that work out? Is he here? No. Okay. So they missed on that one. All right. Here's what we were told about a month ago. Well, it's down to UGA and Bama for Arch Manning, that it's come down. Those are the final two teams. Arch Manning is going to either Bama or Georgia. He went to Texas, right? Yesterday. Okay, so we missed out on that one. Then last night was John Collins is going to get traded before the start of the draft. The Hawks are desperately trying to move John Collins. Well, no. And the reports is that he'll be here for a while. Now, again, the blue checkmark media will throw a celebratory party if in a month or two John Collins is traded because, we told you. Forget the fact they said it was going to be draft night and everything else that goes along with it. Remember when I tell you that don't believe what these media people tell you? Don't buy into what it is that they're trying to sell. We've discussed this a lot about John Collins. What sense did it make to rush into a deal or get involved in something that doesn't make sense? Now, a couple of things we heard. The Sacramento Kings deal, that was basically not even including the number 4 pick. It was basically Harrison Barnes for John Collins. What the hell would I want that deal for? If I'm the Hawks, why would I want Harrison Barnes? What's that going to do to my roster? What again, is he coming in to sweep the floor? So that trade made no sense. And then the DeJounte Murray. Well, they want a king's ransom for him. He's their best player. He's young. He's a star. He can play both sides of the basketball. And he's cheap, $17 million. Why would I give him up unless I'm going to get a king's ransom back for him? So the story was that the Hawks couldn't come up with a price. Yeah, because they don't want to sell off the franchise to bring a guy in. And this is the thing. Now the talk is, well, how does John Collins come back to the Hawks? They've got to move him now. Wait a second. Who was putting out all the stories and misinformation about John Collins? I don't remember. I've talked to the general manager. I've talked to the guy that's the president of the basketball operations. I don't remember hearing a single word out of those guys saying that they're looking to move on from John Collins. And last I looked, I've not read a single thing from John Collins about the idea that he wants out of Atlanta. If he wanted out of Atlanta so bad, why did he sign a 5-year, $125 million deal last year? If he wanted out of Atlanta so bad. Could have worked out a sign and trade last year for him if that's really what they wanted. If it's a quote-unquote DeAndre Ayton situation and he wants out, could have done that last year. See, none of this stuff makes sense when you start to dive into it, right? It doesn't make it, well, they got to play. What? Why? Again, I'm not against moving John Collins, but it better make sense. This better be a move that really does improve my basketball team, not Harrison friggin' Barnes. The hell would I want him for? For what? So again, this idea of, they got to trade him and they got to make a move. Why? They're going to move up in the draft. Why? What sense does any of this make? But leave it to the blue checkmark media, brother. Big old checkmark there. They're moving Collins. They got all these deals in the works. Nothing. If John Collins was part of all of the different deals that we heard, you mean to tell me if they were that interested in moving him, not one of those deals could have gone through? The DeJounte Murray, the Portland Trailblazers, the Sacramento Kings, this team, that we heard the Celtics. So we got 9 teams that are in the mix for John Collins, and they couldn't find a trade by draft night. My gut, and I'll be wrong about this, that's fine. My gut tells me that they don't want to have to move on from John Collins. They want to find a package or a player or something that makes sense without giving up the farm and depleting your roster, taking 2 steps back to take 1 step forward. I don't think that's the mindset of this team. Well, they're going to end up not doing anything. What would you rather them do? Would you rather they do nothing or make a bad move? That's the thing I ask is, okay, are you making a move for the sake of making a move, or are you making a move to legitimately make your team better? You know, you can say, well, they better not run it back. And I understand and agree with that. Okay. But running it back is either going to end up with the result of last year where they barely could find their way into the playoffs, or it's the Eastern Conference Finals. That they ran it back last year because, I don't know, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals. They were 2 wins away from playing for an NBA championship. That's why they ran it back. Yes, I understand in hindsight that wasn't the right decision, but that's why they did it. I would rather they run it back than to just flolly a bunch of players and picks away just to not get better. Harrison Barnes ain't taking you to the Eastern Conference Finals. That trade would make no sense. It was out there though. The blue checkmark media had, oh yeah, Sacramento Kings want a deal, and here's what the deal is. And okay, makes no sense whatsoever, does it? Now, you think any of the blue checkmark media are pulling a mea culpa this morning? Well, we thought Collins was going to get traded, but that was our bad. We got bad. No, they're just going to move on like it never happened, huh? Oh, John Collins get traded. Oh, yeah. Well, now I see some of the blue check. Well, the Hawks are still going to trade him. Hawks are still going to trade him. Okay, where's the deal? Supposedly they're out of the Gobert sweepstakes. That'd be a big one. Okay. Again, I've told you, they're not going to be in the Bradley Beal sweepstakes. That's not even a trade. That's a free agent signing. So you don't have to worry about that. So who's the guy? I mean, are you giving up the farm for DeJounte Murray, or are you going for Donovan Mitchell? Because at this point, that's the only 2 guys whose name mixed into anything would make any sense whatsoever. They're literally, at this point, doesn't seem to be a name unless Giannis or somebody's going to come up. What do you think the chances are? Here, I'll put this out here. The Hawks are looking at Milwaukee, and they may want Giannis. I'm hearing from my sources that, John Collins and Kevin Huerter for Giannis. So yeah, I could put that out there too. I can put all that nonsense out. I have sources. I've got people that I talk to. I've got people, with the organization. I do the same thing, but it's all a bunch of, bunk, bull, and malarkey, and that's not a law firm. So again, you won't get a mea culpa from the media. Doesn't matter how many times they just keep getting information wrong and information wrong and information wrong. Like I said, I was at Hooters in Acres Mill the day that Deshaun Watson, I was doing a live show, and I was with the host and the producer, and we were all getting information from people. Watson's coming to Atlanta. Watson's going to be a Falcon. The deal is signed. His agents come in. They got the contract signed, and this and the other. Okay, how'd that work out? Anybody say that, well, we got it all wrong? No, of course they didn't say that. Oh, well, he was, that was one of the teams or whatever. No, it wasn't. You said it was going to happen. So don't, first off, message. This is my PSA to you. Don't believe and buy what any of these guys start selling you. Use your judgment and your common sense. Listen to what common sense tells you about it. Listen to, by the way, what we read you from Travis Schlenk the other day about it's not going to be a major overhaul. And if you make a mistake in a trade or a free agent where you've got $150 million, it's hard to bounce back from that. Listen to his words about what they're doing. Don't get frustrated, because I saw that last night. Well, same old Hawks, they didn't make a deal. Because they didn't make a deal on draft night, make a bad deal? That doesn't make sense. Making bad deals doesn't make your team better. Bringing in a guy that you overpay for doesn't make, that's why I say, I don't think DeAndre Ayton makes your team better. I don't think Rudy Gobert makes this team that much better. Not based upon what I have and what I get, what I have to give up and pay. It doesn't, the math, the common sense math doesn't work itself out. Will John Collins get drafted? Maybe. What's going to happen if he's here come training camp? Well, the Hawks are still pursuing him. They may do a trade deadline deal. Miss me with all that. I mean, sorry. The blue checkmark media hasn't gotten anything right of late. That's why you don't buy into what they have to say. All right, when we come back, Braves and Dodgers. This is the series that we've all been waiting for, right? It's Hitting Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.